The incident that had such an impact on Charlotte and Simon occurred in October 2017 in Poole. And Charlotte had been in the job for less than a year.
Crewed up with a young in-service officer who I'd never worked with before, and that's not unusual. It's always quite nice.
First time I ever met Simon was that shift. The whole police is a bit like a family anyway. It wasn't like we were treating each other like strangers.
And we're driving down an A road, so it's a busy old road normally, but it's pitch black. It's only single lane in each direction, and there's no lighting. And we come up behind a vehicle, quite a dark vehicle, and it's not got any lights on, and it's going really slowly.
The car was quite obviously not being driven either correctly, either the driver was distracted.
Part of me thought the driver might be drunk, part of me thought they might be lost. But Charlotte called up for a marked car to come and assist us.
And the car just stopped, basically. It pulled up on the verge, stopped. The driver got out.
So I set off the blue strobe lights so that he knows we're police. And I say to Charlotte, wait here a second, I'll just jump out and see what's going on. Before I've even opened my door, the guy's out of the driver's door and he's gone round the front of his car and he's put the bonnet up. So I quickly nip and I join him and I'm stood next to him. Vividly remember, I'm actually on his right-hand side and he's got his hand up, holding the bonnet up, and he's looking and says, the engine keeps cutting out, the engine keeps cutting out. And he was slurring his words. He really was slurring his words.
Got out the car myself, leaving everything on so that we were still lit up, and joined Simon at the side of the car.
So I take the decision then I'm going to have to arrest him because I think he's unfit to drive. So I take hold of him and I said, look, I can't let you drive off, mate. I'm going to have to put you under arrest. And at that point, he reacted quite poorly.
He quickly became violent, attacking both officers at once.
It's a real blur, and I can remember certain bits, flashes.
Both of us were dragged to the floor at points. We dragged him to the floor. He got up, he was putting in punches, elbows.
And then he brings his hands up under my coat and his thumbs found my eyeballs straight away. And his fingers were on the back of my head, so I couldn't pull back.
It just didn't appear to be stopping anything. I deployed my parva, didn't appear to have any effect on him whatsoever.
So I just punched him as hard as I could in his sort of torso. Unfortunately, he lets go.
The driver wants to get back behind the wheel, but Simon moves quickly.
Simon put his arm in the car and took out the keys and threw them.
And then Charlotte and I, still at his driver's door, he's trying to kick his way through his door to get to us. So we're just putting our weight onto the door. And I remember saying to Charlotte, this is all right, we'll just keep him here and then, you know, everyone else will turn up in a minute and then job done.
But with only 2 officers and the car unlocked, the driver manages to get out through the passenger door.
So I've gone to put my weight across his torso, and I remember thinking, I don't want him to spit at me or bite me. So I've turned his face away from me. Charlotte is on his other side, and Charlotte goes to put her weight on his left-hand side, and he punched Charlotte.
I had my hair up, much like I do today, in a bun. He just managed to get a good grip on it and just pulled me backwards.
And again, both of his hands reach up, and his thumbs again go into my eyes.
All I could hear was Simon saying, he's got my eyes, he's got his thumbs in my eyes. I was just trying to hit him, kick him, do anything to stop him doing what he was doing to Simon.
Charlotte's tactics work, and she manages to force the assailant to release Simon, but they immediately face another danger as the man runs into the road in the line of oncoming traffic.
So Charlotte and I run into the road, push him out of the way of the car, and we manage to, I mean, in my mind's eye, when I think back, it's a split second before the car passes us. So then he punches me again and then runs into the road a second time.
The second time he ran into the road, I remember thinking, oh gosh, now what? Like, is he going to get hit? Are we going to get hit? All I remember thinking is that the only line of defence I've got left is my baton. I'd never used it before. I've never used it since.
And I remember thinking that car's going really, really quick. I'm not going to get there in time. And just as I was thinking, we're both going to get hit by this car, it just screams to a halt. I didn't realise that it was a police car.
Simon and Charlotte's backup had arrived.
And then the door opened and a really authoritative, commanding voice shouted, "Taser, taser, get on the floor." To the point it was so commanding and authoritative, I nearly went, "Oops, no, him, right, him." And the guy, brilliantly, just went, stopped, and he sort of lay on the floor.
The incident was over almost as quickly as it began.
Once he was on the floor and got cuffs on him, I think I just sat there for a second, just trying to get my breath back. And then loads of other units started to arrive from almost out of nowhere. So I was very happy for people to be there.
I had bruising on my torso, my ribs, from where the guy kicked me. Some bruising around my face, and particularly around my eyes, where he gouged my eyes.
Simon then made a phone call to his partner Alex, who he had only been seeing for a year at the time.
It was quite a weird experience to get that call because all of a sudden it was your mind flips because you suddenly think, you're trying to picture what's happened and trying to understand it from previous experience, but I've never had that before. I just didn't even cross my mind about the sorts of things he could be stepping into because it's not something we'd really talked about. So it wasn't really until he called me to say that he was in hospital because of something that happened that I really had any understanding of what that feels like.
Charlotte also called her mother after the incident.
It was definitely quite flippant. "Oh, no, it was just something that happened at work." Yeah, no, we're fine, I got punched in the face and my hair pulled, and, that once the incident was resolved, we went to the A&E and we were told as much as, she wanted to tell us. I suppose for her, if she wasn't making it a big deal, then we weren't going to make it a big deal.
The driver was charged with 2 counts of assaulting a police officer, failure to provide a specimen for analysis, and driving whilst disqualified. He was jailed for 4 months, ordered to pay £300 in compensation, and banned from driving for 36 months.
If it was to ever happen again, I'd be quite happy to have Simon by my side.
I came away with really minor injuries, very, very lucky, only because Charlotte was there, and Charlotte was an absolute warrior, so thank you, mate.
Since the incident, Charlotte is more conscious of taking care of herself and taking time out.
We can't really expect to look after other people, and we need to make sure we look after ourselves, and my way of dealing with that is sport and exercise and trying to look after my body in a healthy way.
Charlotte's mum is also a huge support to her.
I haven't seen this album before. I've seen all of our albums, but I've not seen this
This one, haven't you? Do you remember when you wanted to become a police officer?
Not close, no.
But you remember always saying you wanted to be one?
Yeah.
Very compassionate, considerate, but she does like to be in charge, so it didn't surprise me when she wanted to be a police officer.
It's so beautiful.
For Simon, the incident has given his partner Alex insight into the dangers of his job.
You need to think about how it affects you as well. Be open with you about what sort of work I'm doing, I guess.
I probably didn't really have that much of an understanding until that point when that happened. I think it was a bit of a reality check for me, really, I guess. So I would naturally feel quite nervous about you going out on patrol. But I'll get used to it.
But there was some good news for Simon and Charlotte and their families. Their efforts were rewarded with a Bravery Award.
So proud of Simon when he was nominated. I mean, I remember he called me. I think Simon, again, the nature of this man, played it down a little bit. He was a bit like, wow, you're not going to believe it, but I've been nominated for this Bravery Award. I think he deserves a huge amount of recognition. I'm really proud of him.
I feel very honoured that I was so young in service and nominated for such a big award. And then to find out I was going up to London, going to Downing Street, and then when I told my parents, they were just so excited about it.
I was at the front of the shop, and once she got off the phone, oh my goodness, Andy, this is a really big deal.
I look back on it with a lot of happy memories. I've since lost my dad that came to the awards, and he was very proud, and he came to number 10 with me. If he was proud of you, he'd tell you. So he did. No, good man.
Police officers, they'll go running into a situation and put themselves right in the danger line. And they need to know that society's got their back.
But I just think that the things that we do and other colleagues do and how brave they are, I think it goes to show what type of person a police officer is. I'm very proud to be one.